Bad Kitty Christmas. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all around through the city, not a creature was stirring. Blah bam crash kaboom! Except for Bad Kitty. A Bad Kitty Christmas by Nick Bruhl. How did she get here, you may ask yourself. It's a very long story, I'll tell you myself. First thing in the morning, I woke up to a clatter. I ran down the stairs and I asked, what's the matter? That's when I found Kitty in the midst of her caper. She'd torn through the gifts and was covered in paper. The angel was ambushed, the books were all bumped, the cards were all crushed and the drums were all dumped. The eggnog was ended and the fruitcake was flung, the gifts were all gutted and the holy unhung. The icicles were injured, the jingle bells jumped, the Kris Kringle was kicked and the lights were all lumped. The manger was mauled, the nutcracker nailed, the ornaments ousted and the pointed nester paled. The quiet was quashed, the ribbons were ripped up, the stars were sent swirling and the tree was tripped up. The unicorn uglied, the vixen was vexed, the wreath looked just wretched and the xylophone X'd. Our Yuletide looked yucky, our zeal had been zapped when I found Kitty in shredders, but when I had found Kitty in the shreds where she had napped. Oh Kitty, Bad Kitty, I'm just filled with distress. You ruined our Christmas, just look at the mess. All these presents were for you, why did you do it? And Kitty said, meow. And through there were boxes and presents and bundles, boxes galore. Kitty was angry and she wanted more. She wanted an ape and a bear and a cormorant dish, a duck and an eagle baked in with a fish, a gecko a horse, an ibis a jackal, a kiwi a lion, a soup with a mackerel, a narwhal an owl, a penguin on rye, a queasel a rabbit, a seashore in pie, a toad a urchin, a vole and a whale, a Zeus and a yak all fried with zebra's tail. Does it look like I've had it in place? Just that does it. I had it. Just look at this place. I don't care if you're mad. Kitty, you're a disgrace. I've never known someone so selfish and greedy. 'Tis the season, you know, to give to the needy. I'll better start cleaning, or what will you do? How do you feel like helping? Kitty said, meow. She was miffed when we packed up on a trip, after a trip in the Christmas evening snow, and we left to the city to see Uncle Murray. The window was open and Kitty left in a hurry. Oh Kitty, dear Kitty, don't go, you must stay, we shouted and cried as she ran away. But still she abandoned us, right here and then. We thought that's it, we'll never see Kitty again. Oh no, not Puppy too, come back, come back. 'Twas the night before Christmas and out on the street I saw a little black cat with little wet feet. She sat in the alleyway, a path dark and scary, and she didn't look like jolly, she didn't look merry. And she looked so alone, she sat there and pondered, as if she was lost and unsure where she wandered. And then she began to meow, and she began to bellow, and she cried for a while until I said, meow, 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 meow. Hello. What do we have here? A little black cat? Why don't you look home? Why don't you have a home? Let's look into that. Then there's little cat. I'll be right. It'll be all right. You shouldn't be out on this cold winter night. I'll take you upstairs to dry off your fur. Would you like some food? And Miss Kitty said, brrr. Now my home's a little bit empty. Why, it's practically bare, but I still have a little and I'm happy to share. I grabbed a clean towel to dry off her back and set down a plate with a small tasty snack. How do you like this old tree, the one on the shelf? Do you know I adored it all by myself? You won't see a tinsel, you won't see any one light. It only has photographs and all black and white. Come sit with me, cat, and let me show you all the folks in my life and people I knew. Here's my Aunt Agnes, my brother Bobby, my dear cousin Clancy, and his daughter Dottie. There's Edgar the Elder with my father Frank, next to Grandma Gail and my husband Hank. And there are my in-laws, Ike and Iona, with their two juveniles, John and Jonah. They each had a kid, Kendra and Ken, and the lineage goes on with Laura and Len. And here's my mother's Marge, with her loving niece Nan, and her offspring Oscar and her partner Pam. And that's Quinn in the quilt, a fairly heirloom, and he's related to Rob, who hails from Khartoum. And there's my sister Sophie and her twins Tina and Todd, with her uncle Upton, who had a nose that was odd. And there's Vasha with a friend in Afrikaners, and she's Walter's wife, who's my son's. And this is my last one. It's the whole silly gang at Christmas Union. We laughed and we sang. We met in New York near the end of December, and I wrote on the pictures I will all remember. On here it says Christmas 1962. We're spending our Yule at the Central Park Zoo. The cat looked entranced while I patted her fur, and she stared at the pictures there before her. You should know, cat, that while I'm quite content with this only tree that looks slightly bent, it may not have jewels or a car or a yacht, but I still have my memories, and that's quite a lot. The little cat said, "Little cat, this is what Christmas should be. It's not about stuff from a spending spree. It's not about presents all over the place. It's not about food or stuffing your face. Like Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and Eddie, you see, Christmas is all about family. Home is where the heart is, and that's what we say, so I'll bet your puss heart feels miles away. Don't fret, little cat, wipe off your tears. If we can't find your home and you can stay here." But I could tell she was homesick, she wanted more, and that's when I could hear her scratch at the door. "It's Puppy! There's someone to see you, you lucky black cat. I think he knows where your home is at." Like a furry black flash, she flew out the door. She was so fast moving she didn't touch the door. "So I guess you'll be leaving," I said with a sigh. "I'm so glad I met you. Tell your folks I said hi." So I sat on my chair, I put my tree on my lap, and I settled myself for a long winter nap. I was happy to know she had a home of her own. Too bad I'll be spending Christmas alone. But just when I started to slumber and snore, I again heard scratching at my front door. The cat had come back and she had something to do. What do you want?" And Kitty said, "Mew-too!" 'Twas the night before Christmas. We were filled with regrets as we sat in our seats missing our pets. The house seemed so empty without them around. I wish I had hoped they were both safe and sound. But a knock on the door arose such a knock, but I sprang from my chair from a sudden shock. That's right. And what to my wondering eyes should appear but Kitty and Pup and a lady most dear. "They're home, they're home, Christmas is say. Welcome home, Kitty. I hope you behave. And thank you, dear lady, for bringing them back. I hope you'll stay for a late Christmas snack." And she did, don't you know. In fact, she moved in. Some friends like family, and she became kin. There's a photo of her. It's high up in the tree, wrapped snug in the branches for all to see. So Kitty is home now, and I think she'll stay. She's gone off to bed to end this long day. My story is over. And with that, all right, Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Bye, Jake. Merry Christmas.